All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Sometimes when you're busy, you lose track of the days and track of the time, but it is Thursday. So as I described, football season is over. My Michigan Wolverines won the national title. So that kind of has loosened things up for me. So when I can, I will take advantage of these evening time slots during the week to do live science discussions. I will still do the uh, pre-records and the shorts, but I will when I can and when it makes sense, I will take advantage of these evening time slots. And I want to thank everyone who supports the channel and who has supported the channel on Saturday mornings. I know at least some folks are probably out late on a Friday night, and the last thing they want to do is watch a science talk on Saturday morning. Let me make sure this is broadcasting to YouTube. Thank you for those first 3 likes. All right. Yep, there's me. Thank you for that 4th like, whoever gave that to me. Let me share this over on my original channel, and then I will jump in. I don't plan to go super long tonight. The Lakers are coming on at 8 o'clock, and they're playing the Denver Nuggets, and I think they're unveiling a Kobe Bryant statue. So I want to finish up here and get comfortable to watch that game. Let me share this over on my original Big Discussions 76 channel, and then I will jump in. Please smash that like button if you haven't. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Okay, so I will give this a like. Also, let me know what you guys think there in the chat about this or anything. All right, I'm going to go back to Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology, and I will get this party started. All right. I will see you all on the other side of this Dr. Patrick Dix intro.
It's impacting the self-driving cars, the self-checkout aisles. It's impacting warehouses because I shared an article, I think it was some weeks ago, about how Walmart, their distribution centers, they're making them full automated. Those are the main ones, manufacturing. It's even affecting healthcare. And those are just some of the fields to name. It's impacting everything. Self-service, you have your Amazon, you have your driverless cars. Those are the big ones that I focus on because, and administrative jobs. You know, you have a lot of people, a lot of women that work administrative jobs. That's automation. There are a lot of fields that are going to be eliminated.
Welcome to Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. Science and technology stories are all around us, and there are always science and technology stories to tell. There are always science and technology stories to tell. So I think I'll start there. Science and technology stories to tell. With it, there are a lot of layoffs taking place right now around the country. And for those of you who are following me in the fall, you know that I attended the National Association for Science Writers Conference out in Boulder. And that's a whole sector in itself, the science writers. So I'm hearing that I'm hearing about layoffs across sectors, but I'm hearing that the science writing community, especially those individuals who write for publications, they're experiencing quite a few layoffs. And I think artificial intelligence must have something to do with that. I think, well, I don't know if technically if we're in a recession right now, but if you're generating algorithms and programs and intelligences that can completely eliminate writers, then maybe you don't need those writers. And also, if a publication is using paid subscriptions and that publication is not making money, then of course you're going to lay off your workforce. But that's happening right now. Um, I've been hearing a lot about that lately. So that inspired this stream. Also, something that happened here on my channel inspired this stream, and also something I'm doing right now inspired this stream. If you want to make a donation to this channel, my Cash App and PayPal are here in the description box. They're in the description box, but I'm putting this in the chat as well. So if you want to donate something, that is there. Please sound off and let me know who's here, and also what you think about all this. So thank you to everyone who supported the last stream regarding synthetic weed. I'm sorry, I had to rename it synthetic cannabis. Okay, so an interesting thing happened after I finished that stream. So I took it down. I made it private because I wanted to edit something out post stream, but I got in an alert or a correspondence from YouTube, and I'm going to share that right now. So if you do something YouTube doesn't like, if you violate community guidelines, or if you use something that's copyrighted, YouTube will send you a nice little letter and say, hey, we put a strike on this, or we put a claim on this, or we age restricted something because you violated a guideline. So I got this, and it was a harmless, in my opinion, it was a harmless discussion. We talked about the science of THC and the receptor in the brain that interacts with THC. Is it THC or TCH? Whatever the active ingredient in cannabis is, I did a stream on that, and we talked about some of the side effects and the zombification of people. There was no cursing in that stream. There was no encouragement of violence or any kind of nefarious behavior in that stream. But I got this notification from YouTube. I'm going to share it with you all right now. In YouTube, this is for teaching purposes only. Aquateki, thank you for being here. He says THC is the abbreviation. Yeah, there's so many acronyms in science. It's hard to keep everything straight. So they sent me this kind note. It says, "Hi, Big Discussion 76 Science and Technology. We have reviewed your content and determined that it may not be suitable for viewers under the age of 18 per our community guidelines. As a result, we've age restricted the following content." The video is, what is synthetic weed? What are the side effects? We haven't applied a strike to your channel, and your content is still live for some users on YouTube. Keep reading for more details on what this means and steps you can take if you'd like to appeal the decision. Okay, I'm going to skip over these two paragraphs. Okay, how we find violations. This is what stood out to me. Okay, it says, we use a combination of automated systems and human reviews to detect violations of our community guidelines. Okay, let me read that again. We use a combination of automated systems and human reviews to detect violations on our community guidelines. So if you've ever used a piece of copyrighted music, or if somebody says something during the stream that violates community guidelines, or if the title looks kind of janky, or if Aquatech, did you call me Dr. Subaru? Dr. Subaru. Why Dr. Subaru? You know, a Subaru was my first car ever, but interesting. All right. But if the title looks janky, if the title looks suspect, if there's something in the title that triggers something, your video might get taken down, or it will get age restricted, or in some instances, maybe your stream will be stopped midstream. That happened to me here on this channel about 2 years ago. I was talking about, what was I talking about? I was reading a blog post from my blog. It was a post a customer had sent me about how cryptocurrencies work. I think it was about the amount of energy required for cryptocurrency. And they took the video down midstream. I was getting an error message when I was trying to drop things in the chat. And then I realized, wait a minute, my stream was taken down. And then they removed the channel because I had another transgression for something else. But there aren't people watching the millions of videos on this platform around the clock. They're using automation. They're using artificial intelligence to look for certain things, to capture certain things, to capture words, to capture music, to capture a myriad of things. And that's why some of the channels, when they talk about sensitive topics like grape, there's a reason why some content creators say grape instead of the actual word they're talking about. There's a reason why one content creator, shout out to Art Newstall, while maybe I shouldn't give a secret away, but why he says El Gibbet. El Gibbet means something else, but it's to not make themselves liable for saying certain things or not getting caught saying certain things, because the artificial intelligence, it's smart, it's listening, it's paying attention to this right now. So that stood out to me. Now, what's interesting, first of all, thank you to everyone who supported that stream and who watched that stream. I appreciated that. And again, nothing violent, or no one was encouraged to do anything nefarious during that stream. But since then, it's gone back to no restrictions. So it says none under there now in my YouTube studio. So somebody must have went back and checked the video and checked the algorithm and said, you know what, there's nothing here that's worth this age restriction. So it looks like they took it off. I could be wrong, but it was gone when last I checked. Let me take a look right now. Sometimes you speak too soon. Yeah, there are no restrictions there as of now. Okay, so automated systems and artificial intelligence. Let me load this up really quickly. JJ Mars, thank you for being here. Aquateki, thank you for being here. If you are watching on the playback, please let me know what you think about any of this on the playback, or if you have any comments. So everybody thinks YouTubing is all fun and games, but it's actually a very tricky business. A sweet science, if you will. Let me load these two slides up. Give me a second, everyone. That introduction, that was a snippet from my very first conversation with Dr. Patrick Dix. If you're unsubscribed, please go over and subscribe to Dr. Patrick Dix. He talks about automation and artificial intelligence all the time. I touch on it sometimes, and I defer to his expertise. And I'm happy every time he comes over to talk about it with me. Let me see. Here we go. Load these two up. All right. So one other thing, and then I'm going to get into this. This is a review. We actually talked about some of this We actually talked about some of this when Dr. Dix came over that second time. So many of you know, those who uh, follow me, you know that I'm working on a book project, and I am close to putting part one through actual processing. And I'm using a service called Bowker. Some of you may have heard of this, some of you may have not, but it's a tool for self-publishers. And what they offer, I'm not going to go navigating through this site, but I'm just showing this for the sake of showing it. But one of the things they offer is editing. So you put together a manuscript for all the aspiring self-publishers out there. You put together your manuscript in a docx format, and then you send it to them. And for a fee, what they will do is they will edit it for you. And I was looking at this week, and I was thinking, okay, and I think the manuscripts they say you need a minimum of 12,500 characters, 12,500 words. And so if you have a manuscript that's 100,000 words or more, I said to myself, they must be using some sort of automation to do this. They must be using some sort of, not automation, artificial intelligence. They must be using some sort of artificial intelligence to read, if they're getting a high volume of manuscripts from self-publishers and aspiring authors. They must be using some sort of artificial intelligence to read through it, unless they have that many people who can sit down and read draft manuscripts. But they must be using this somehow in their operation. I don't know for sure, but that's something I suspected. Aquateki says, yeah, TCH is the abbreviation. He says, greetings, Dr. Subaru, listening while I make dinner. Yeah, my family had a Subaru Legacy that was passed. My mother got it first, and then it was passed to my brother, and then it was passed to me. So it was our first car, Subaru Legacy. Oh, wait, 1990 Subaru Legacy. JJ Mar says, YouTube is very quick to go after certain people. Okay, so that means that there's a hit list or a do not fly list on YouTube. And Akoteki says, AI has yet to master nuance. The human element is still necessary. Okay, so with all those things in mind, I came back to review the ABCs of artificial intelligence. Now, I did do this with my second discussion with Dr. Dix, but I said, okay, well, this is worth capturing. This is worth reviewing again for all of our collective knowledge sets, and for all of our knowledge sets. Now, what's interesting, Dr. Dix, in his own way, he's sounding the bell on this. He's warning everybody to prepare and to train themselves and to become knowledgeable on artificial intelligence and automation, so that you'll be able to take advantage of this revolution as opposed to getting swept away by it. But when I talked with Aaron Clary on my original channel about 2 weeks ago, he said that that's a compared to the national debt and the fundamental finances of the country, artificial intelligence and automation, those are first class problems, and not he made the analogy of the Titanic and having a hole punched in the hull of the ship, and having first class people on the top deck versus the hole punched in the ship. So he said that's a first class problem. So depends on who you listen to, but I'd say be aware of everything. All right, so the ABCs of artificial intelligence. So where did I get this from? Once again, I got this from, I don't know why, Stanford sent me this. I'm an alumni of the University of Michigan, but I got this magazine from Stanford Medicine. And for those of you who don't know, Stanford is it's a top tier university in Palo Alto, California, which is not far from Silicon Valley. So Stanford is very much immersed in the fourth industrial revolution. And so this whole issue involved how artificial intelligence and automation is currently impacting medicine and how they will further impact the medical world. And there's a page in here that reads the ABCs of AI. And I posted this on my community tab, but I wanted to do a video on it as well. And I didn't have time to do a pre-record, because a pre-record, you have to record it and then you have to edit it. So I said, let's just knock it out in one live stream. So please smash that like button. If you haven't, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not subscribed, and let me know what you think about all of this if you're watching on the playback. And if you're watching live, let me know what you think about all this. So I created this slide, and I'm going to read these definitions. These are the terms. These are the vocabulary words that each of us should have some feel for going forward into this brave new world. Artificial intelligence, algorithms, chatbots, ChatGPT, deep learning, generative AI, language models, machine learning, natural language processing, neural networks, and training data. I think all of us have heard some form of some of these in the recent future, in the recent past, in this current time. We've all heard some version of those in the current time. Okay, so we're going to start at the top, and let me know what you think in the chat, or if you're watching on the playback. So the ABCs of AI, a brief glossary of artificial intelligence terminology. All right. A term coined, artificial intelligence, or AI. A term coined in 1955 by Stanford University computer science professor John McCarthy, PhD, who defined it as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Today, it is understood as a branch of computer science that focuses on creating machines, computer programs, or software systems that can perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence. Chaos Rain, thank you for stopping through. I appreciate the support and all the eyeballs. All right. Algorithms. I'm sure everybody's heard that term. If you're involved in some sort of computer science or computer engineering, all of us have heard the term algorithms. And also, if you're involved in banking in any way, you've heard the term algorithms, because if you've applied for a mortgage, I think you can get pre-qualified online. So you go, you punch in your job, or if you have a job, and you type in how long you've been at that job, you type in your gross salary, and any other forms of income, and the program usually pre-qualifies you or doesn't qualify you right there on the spot. So this stuff is already out and working, not just on YouTube, but it's out and working in multiple areas. Applying for credit. Anyone out there who's applied for a credit card, they ask for your social, your gross salary, how long you've been at your job, and then you put those numbers in. Oftentimes they'll spit an answer for you right away. Sometimes they make you wait for other reasons. All right, algorithms. A step-by-step set of instructions that a computer or a person follows to solve a specific problem or perform a task, such as recognizing patterns. Okay, let me read that again. Algorithms, a step-by-step set of instructions that a computer or a person follows to solve a specific problem or perform a task, such as recognizing patterns. So when I talked with Dr. Dix, one of the things they talked about in here is teaching machines how to read histopathological cross sections. So when you're in the biomedical sciences, or when you're in medicine, you take tissue samples or biopsies, or when you perform experiments, you take cross sections of the liver or kidneys. If maybe you're treating that animal with a drug, so you want to look at differences. So you're teaching something in the medical context to look for differences in tissue patterns. Okay, those of you who are not in the biomedical sciences, that might seem a little bit nebulous, but reading patterns, that's what you need to know right now. Okay, chatbots, a software application or web interface that mimics human conversation through text or voice interactions. I think Alexa would fall under this. I think your mobile phone, your smartphone would fall under this. When you can tell it now, you can ask it things. I think that's a chatbot. Chat GPT, this is a popular one. This made a lot of buzz, and it's going to continue making lots of buzz as we go forward. A chatbot developed by OpenAI, capable of generating human-like text based on context and past conversations. It is powered by a large language model and is an example of generative AI. All right. Deep learning, a type of machine learning that uses artificial neural networks, which are inspired by the structure. All right. Generative AI models that learn the patterns and structure of their input training data, text, images, or other media, and then generate new data having similar characteristics or perform tasks they were never trained to do. Large language models, a type of AI model that's trained on massive amounts of data and can be easily adapted to perform a wide range of tasks. Some examples are the models that power chatbots like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Bard. Aquateki says, let's see, Chaos Reign said 69 years ago. I think you're referring to, the coining of the term artificial intelligence. Okay. That was in 1955. Aquateki says, some of these chatbots have managed to pass the Turing test. That's saying something. You know what, Aquateki? I'm not familiar with the Turing test. Let's look it up. Turing test. Okay. I'll go with this simple definition here. It looks like Turing was an actual person. So the Turing test, originally called the imitation game by Alan Turing in 1950, is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit ... The Turing test, originally called the imitation game by Alan Turing in 1950, is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable from that of a human. Okay, Aquateki, thank you for that. You just taught me something, and you taught all of us something. Okay, there you go. Named after a computer scientist named Alan Turing. All right. Machine learning. Shout out to Engineering Cannabis. A method that helps machines learn from data and get better at doing tasks without being explicitly programmed. It's like teaching them to make decisions and predictions by themselves based on patterns they discover in information. So I hope everyone's seeing that a common theme here is learning and understanding patterns, which is what we as humans do. Natural language processing. Natural language processing. A branch of AI that uses machine learning to process and interpret text and data. It represents the ability of a program to understand human language as it is spoken and written. So that's natural language processing. And we're just about at the end here. Neural networks. Neural networks. A computer system inspired by the way our brains work. It's made up of interconnected artificial neurons that help computers learn from data and recognize patterns. So neurons, artificial neurons. I think I probably have a picture of a neuron queued up here. No, I don't. Let me see if I can find one really quickly. I know that I showed it in my synthetic cannabis discussion. Let's see. Neurons. The neuron. Yep, there it is. So this is a human neuron. So you have a cell body and an axon and a oligodendrocyte, a node of Ron-VA, and an axon terminal in synaptic end bulbs. But the in this context for AI, these would be virtual, but it's I'm assuming they're talking about using the same principle of having numerous nerve processes firing off, stimulating the other, giving rise to the ability to recognize patterns and understand languages. Let's see. Aquateki says, all those years of people solving CAPTCHA authentication puzzles were creating training data sets for machine learning. Interesting. All those years of people solving CAPTCHA authentication puzzles, yeah, we're creating training data sets for machine learning. So CAPTCHA, you know what? CAPTCHA, I guess that's the when you sign into something and it asks you, the human, you have the 9 panels, and it says identify all the squares that have traffic lights or all the squares that have cars. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, so they were teaching machines how to do those. Interesting. All right, and then finally, training data. I keep switching between data and data. One of my coworkers says data, so I'm used to, after listening to her say that, I'm kind of switching between the two, data versus data. Aquateki says bingo. I remember the first time I saw that, I was a postdoc, and I had to go to a lab mate and say, hey, do you know what this is? He says, yeah, you just click the boxes. It's asking you for the common boxes. You just click the boxes and it'll let you into the website or your account or your Backstage, whatever it is. So CAPTCHAs. All right, last one. Training data. I did it again. Data. Training data. The initial data set containing the examples used to teach a machine learning application to recognize patterns or perform some function. I'll read that again. So training data, the initial data set containing the examples used to teach a machine learning application to recognize patterns or perform some function. All right. So everybody, that's all of them. So I just went over these terms here. The ABCs of AI: artificial intelligence, algorithms, chatbots, chat GPT, deep learning, generative AI, language models, machine learning, natural language processing, neural networks, and training data, or data, whichever you prefer. But it's important. I got about halfway through this Stanford Medicine magazine here, and my plan is to finish it. And on keeping with Dr. Dix's mission, I think it's incumbent upon all of us to think about whether or not we can be replaced. And also it's important to think about ways in which we might position ourselves so that you'll be relatively safe when a lot of these things come online. Okay, so that's why when I got this, I dove into it. I think I was already planning to interview Dr. Dix at that time. But the underlying theme he keeps hammering away at, Dr. Dix, is think about how all of this is going to affect you. Think about how all of this is going to impact your life. And are you ready for it? If you get replaced, can you be replaced? Okay. Is your job essential? Those are the messages Dr. Dix keeps hammering away at. If you're not subscribed to him, you should consider subscribing to Dr. Patrick Dix. He's on with Erica Williams quite a bit. Andre has entered the building. Andre, thank you for being here. I don't have a super chat, so you can't send me anything that goes against community guidelines like you did the other night on my other channel. So sorry, I don't have a super chat. But I'm wrapping up. Andre, I'm just wrapping up here. And judging by the numbers going up, I think somebody else may have just wrapped up. I didn't see him go live earlier, but YouTube is funny like that. Sometimes people's notifications get taken away. Sometimes people get unsubscribed. Sometimes people get shadow banned. So there's a lot of, yeah. So I'll see if the replay is out there. Andre, it's all good. I am having, on my original channel, Dr. Tiasan Johnson did agree to come back on Monday. We're gonna talk about the black male political agenda. I shouldn't give it away over here. They're two separate channels, but be on your best behavior during that discussion. That's an important discussion, and it needs to get out. So be on your best behavior. People in viewer land, you have to take care of the content creator. You can't leave the content creator exposed and vulnerable. A lot of us content creators, we have day jobs, and people are checking our social media. So, all right, everyone, this was the ABCs of artificial intelligence and automation. Me and Dr. Dix, we talked about this, and I talked about these vocabulary words during our second discussion. That was in January, so if you haven't seen it, please go take a look back. This channel could use all the love it could get. If you haven't seen my synthetic cannabis video, which is now, for which there are now no restrictions, please take a look at that. So Salchi has entered the building. He says, I will check the playback. Thank you for being here, Salchi. And I can't see Andre what this symbol is here in StreamYard. Let me take a look at the YouTube side to see what that is. Oh, it's a salute. I appreciate that. All right, everyone. I didn't intend to go long here. I may be doing something on Saturday morning. So I said, let me go give my science offering for this week tonight. So there we are, a little bit of review, but keep these terms in mind going forward. Can you be replaced? Will you be made obsolete? And if there's the potential for that, how can you protect yourself in this brave new world? All right, everyone, this is Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you are new to the channel, please definitely consider subscribing. If you want to donate something to the channel, My Cash App and PayPal are below in the description box. You can't leave a super thanks here yet because there's no AdSense over here right now. You know, I've noticed that a lot of the science channels don't have, I notice a lot of the science channels don't have AdSense. So there's a podcaster I watch named Dr. Tom Nelson. You guys should subscribe to Dr. Tom Nelson. He would be a climate denier. So there are climate alarmists and there are climate deniers. And I noticed that when I watch his videos, no ads come up. And underneath his videos, there's no super thanks feature. So I don't know. And he's bigger than me. So I don't know if he denied the feature and he doesn't want the ad funding, or if it's something else. And speaking of AI, every one of his videos, anytime you do a video on climate with climate in the title, they slap on that sticker that says climate change is this, and this. It it refers to the anthropogenic changing of the climate due to man. So anytime anyone does a video on that, YouTube slaps that little disclaimer or sticker on there on the video. So that and then during the global health crisis, YouTube was policing that content very, very strongly. And anytime someone made a video on that, they'd slap a sticker on those videos about the global health crisis and the WHO. So it's not all fun and games. YouTubing is not all fun and games. They are closely watching what's being said here on the platform. All right. So yeah, if you want to make a donation to the channel, that's in the description box below. The link for my newsletter is there as well. Yeah, I think with that, I will wrap this up. Salchi, this is a compliment. He says, the doc and BGS have the most diverse content in the space. So I appreciate that. Andre says, I didn't know you were a pharmacologist. That's interesting. Actually, one of my main scientific interests. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, I have a pharmacology background from the University of Michigan. He says, well, biology, or more like biology, but they kind of merge. Yeah. One of the legs of the pharmacology stool is actually biology. You have to know physiology. You have to know cell biology. You have to know some genetics. You have to know some biochemistry. So all of those things go into pharmacology. Let's see. Akoteki says, science gets no love. Yeah, that's in large part true. And Aaron Clary, who I recently interviewed on my original channel, he made that comment a couple of years ago, and that's that the majority of the population won't be able to digest the things you talk about on your science channel due to attention span, but also just overall IQ level. So Aaron doesn't think highly of our general population. But based upon the reading levels and how people are being conditioned today to watch things no longer than a minute, then that makes sense too. Chaos Rain, I did not lose my super chat. You have to qualify for the AdSense. You have to get a certain number of subscribers, and then you need the watch hours. Okay. So if a particular topic is not going viral, and if you don't have 1 million subs, getting to those 4,000 watch hours can be a challenge. So I have over 1,000 subs here, but the challenge is figuring out how to get something to go viral that YouTube won't take down right away. Because usually if it's going viral, it's somewhat controversial. And the science topics are heavily policed. Yeah. So there we are. So I never had one over here. I'd like to get one, but it's a challenge. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. The Lakers are coming on in 16 minutes. I think they're unveiling the Kobe Bryant statue tonight. So I'm going to take a look at that. So yeah, watch out for the next one. And I'll probably, I created some Black History content. I didn't create any this year, but I'll probably throw that up on the community tab because it's Black History Month. But yeah, everyone enjoy the rest of your night. I'll talk to you the next time. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Again, everyone, please get the likes up, and if you have any, if you're new, please consider subscribing. Thank you for those of you who just pushed me over 1,300. I appreciate that. If you're new, please help push me beyond. Help push me to 1,400. So I will talk to you the next time. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.